Have you ever noticed that the more you speak about yourself, the more vulnerable you feel? Not weaker in truth, but somehow less powerful? In a world addicted to oversharing, where every emotion is posted, every thought tweeted, and every plan announced before it's even begun, there exists a rare kind of person. Someone who moves in silence. Someone who understands that power isn't always projected, it's protected. Because the truly wise don't reveal everything. They know. Not every truth needs an audience. Not every feeling must be voiced to be valid. Instead of chasing applause, they embrace restraint, not as a form of repression, but as a conscious act of protection. They value the lessons that life offers before age demands it. When strong, they lift others quietly. When flawed, they admit it with grace, because they understand one universal law. Life humbles us all. Eventually, their compass isn't popularity, but principle. They don't strive for perfect appearances, they cultivate inner character. After all, beauty fades. But virtue? Virtue endures. They've seen the nature of life for what it truly is, uncertain, often painful, and always demanding presence. So, they walk through chaos with undisturbed calm, not because they're cold or detached, but because their mind has been trained to stay clear. Where others speak to be heard, they choose to hold sacred what must remain unspoken. And that brings us to a powerful question. What is it that the wisest people never reveal? Stay with me, because we're about to explore the 3 sacred things they keep to themselves. These are the things that shield their peace, sharpen their focus, and expand their influence, even in a world that screams for attention. Let's begin with the first. A wise person guards their silence. They move through life with quiet confidence, not because they lack ambition, but because they understand. The most powerful moves happen quietly, while others broadcast every intention. A wise person acts, while others boast of visions. They let their outcomes speak. They don't display their goals like fragile dreams begging for approval. They shelter them like a sacred flame, tending them in solitude until they burn bright enough for the world to notice. This isn't secrecy driven by fear, it's clarity born of discipline. You may have heard the old saying, don't tell people your plans. Show them your results. In an age obsessed with appearances, that phrase has become a rare kind of wisdom. Because when you expose your dreams too early, you invite distraction, envy, judgment, and unasked for advice, each one a small erosion of your original purpose. Think of your vision like a seed. If you plant it in shallow soil and constantly dig it up to show others, it never grows. But if you protect it, nurture it in silence, and let it take root in the dark, it grows strong. Only then does it break through the surface. That's why a wise person doesn't need to be seen in order to move forward. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's energy, focused inward. And in the next part, we'll uncover the second thing the wise never reveal, something just as powerful, and even more unexpected. A wise person doesn't need to be seen to move forward. They walk with such grounded purpose that validation becomes unnecessary. Because the moment you start sharing a goal just to feel validated, you're not strengthening your vision, you're surrendering it. You're handing your confidence over to someone else's judgment. And with that, your power quietly slips away. The Stoics spoke of building an inner citadel, a private, fortified place within the soul where clarity, discipline, and strength are untouched by the chaos of the world. And this is where the wise person lives. From that sacred space, they choose to act, not react. They choose to build, not broadcast. This isn't a denial of connection or community. It's a deep embrace of sovereignty. Because when you're walking with real purpose, you don't pause every few steps to explain your journey to strangers. You don't wait for applause before you leap. You don't need a crowd to believe in what you already know is right. As Epictetus wisely put it, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. To the wise, being underestimated is not an insult. It's a shield. While others waste energy polishing appearances, the wise are quietly investing in becoming unshakable from the inside out. So yes, a wise person guards their plans, but more importantly, they guard their mind. They understand how fragile clarity can be when constantly exposed to outside noise and endless opinions. That's why they practice mental hygiene as carefully as physical hygiene. Each night before sleep, they cleanse their heart, not to please others, but to unburden themselves. They forgive, not because they're weak, but because they understand. Resentment is poison, and the soul cannot thrive in its presence. They release grudges not for reconciliation, but for liberation. A clear heart sleeps deeper, dreams brighter, and wakes with calm strength. Because forgiveness is not a gift you offer to those who hurt you, it's a way to remove their venom from your bloodstream. And so, the wise sleep with a clear heart, and rise with a focused mind. When they speak, they do so with intention. Every word is chosen with the same precision they give their thoughts. They don't speak just to fill the silence, because they understand. Silence isn't emptiness. Silence is power. There's a saying they live by. Only open your mouth if what you're about to say is more beautiful than silence. And to the wise, this is not a metaphor. It's a way of life. Their restraint is not timidity, it is strength in stillness. Like deep waters, their calm hides oceans beneath. A quiet man may carry worlds within, and the wise trust something deeper than logic alone. They listen to the soft whisper beneath thought, intuition, instinct, that ancient voice that senses the truth before the mind catches up. Where modern thinking tells us to wait for proof, the wise have learned to trust what is real even when it can't be measured. They understand. Not everything true must be proven, and not everything real needs to be explained. To protect this sacred inner world, they also guard against the subtle invaders, those creeping thoughts that strangle self-worth at the root. Doubt, comparison, regret, self-judgment. They don't pretend these voices never come, they do. But they don't entertain them. They don't water the weeds. They simply refuse to let them grow. He guards his mind as his most sacred space, because he knows that a clear, focused inner world is the foundation of true strength. But even so, he never gives space for negativity to grow. He watches over his thoughts like a careful gardener watching the soil. And when weeds, those small, creeping doubts, begin to sprout, he doesn't wait. He pulls them out while they're still small. He does not water them with overthinking, nor does he fertilize them with pessimism. Why? Because he understands. Just one unchecked thought can grow into a dense forest of limitation. It starts as a whisper, but if ignored, it becomes a wall. He understands a paradox that many miss. True strength doesn't come from noise, but from stillness. A seed doesn't make a sound as it grows, but when a tree falls, the whole forest hears it. Destruction is loud, but creation? It's silent. That's the nature of real power. Those who shout the loudest are often the ones holding on to the least. The people who talk the most about what they're going to do are rarely the ones who finish what they start. But the wise? They move quietly. Their progress doesn't need applause or announcements. It speaks for itself. And when life tests him, and it always does, the wise man doesn't panic. He doesn't collapse when the leaves of his life begin to fall. Instead, he remembers. Even the trees lose everything each year, and still, they stand. Still, they wait for spring. He knows that emptiness is not the end. It's just preparation for rebirth. So when hardship comes, he digs his roots deeper. He becomes still. He waits. Even in relationships, the wise man does not seek to possess or control. He understands that real power is not measured by how many people listen to you, but by how deeply you are trusted by those who know you best. There's a quote that says, "The most powerful man in the world is the one a woman fully trusts." And it holds profound truth. Because trust isn't something you can demand. It must be earned through consistency, through calmness, through quiet integrity. The wise man doesn't build trust by dominance, he builds it by presence. He doesn't chase 1,000 desires, because he understands one strange truth about life and health. A healthy man has many wishes, but a sick man only has one. So he simplifies. He stops running in every direction, because he knows how valuable clarity really is. He chooses peace over abundance, purpose over popularity, and fulfillment over noise. And when his mind becomes cluttered, when the thoughts pile up like clouds before a storm, he knows exactly what to do. He stops thinking, not forever, just long enough to break the endless loop of useless rumination. He walks, he breathes, he meditates, because sometimes the mind clears not by solving the problem, but by simply stepping away from it. Above all else, he walks with purpose, and maybe, just maybe, that's the most sacred thing a wise man hides, his direction. Not because he doesn't know it, but because it's too important to be shared carelessly. A man who walks with true purpose doesn't need the crowd to cheer. He already knows where he's going. The applause of others? It's merely a distraction. The noise of recognition is often the very thing that leads us astray. But the wise, they're different. They walk silently, eyes fixed firmly on what lies ahead, and within each step, there is peace. This is how the wise protect their inner world. They do more than they say. They think deeply, but never allow themselves to get trapped in endless loops of thought. They speak slowly, speak surely, and they listen with their whole heart. They are not swayed by every opinion, nor do they chase every passing trend. Their life is not a performance. It is a quiet rebellion. A stand against a world increasingly obsessed with attention and surface-level shine. So if you wish to walk the path of wisdom, don't be quick to declare what you plan to do. Guard your clarity. Protect your energy like a precious treasure. Trust your intuition. Nourish your mind with silence, discipline, and focused presence. Forgive quickly. Speak less. And walk with clear intention. But more than anything, always remember this. Greatness often begins in silence, but it never ends in obscurity. And then comes the second truth. The wise know how to turn pain into peace. They understand something most people spend a lifetime trying to avoid. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Life will test you. It will disappoint you, break your heart, try your patience, and leave you wondering, why did things have to happen this way? But even in all of that, the wise do not collapse. They do not let pain define them, they let it refine them. They take their wounds and turn them into wisdom. They take sorrow and turn it into stillness. and in that stillness, they build peace. He may step out into the world each day with a calm expression, steady footsteps, and quiet focus, but deep inside, there is a battlefield no one else sees. He might say, "I have many problems in life, but my lips don't know that. They only know how to smile. And that smile? It's not fake. It's not a lie. It's a choice. A choice not to burden the world with something it cannot fix. A choice to keep walking, even when the weight gets heavy. That's not denial. That's strength. A strength born from understanding. Pain isn't meant to be broadcast. It's meant to be understood, transformed, and accepted. The wise don't scream at every injustice. They don't explain every betrayal. They don't beg the world for sympathy, because they have something far greater than pity: mastery. Mastery over how they choose to carry what once tried to break them. They find peace in things most people overlook. Even a mirror becomes their friend, not because it gives answers, but because it reflects without judgment. They look at the mirror and think, "It never laughs when I cry." It simply holds space. And that is exactly what the wise learn to do for themselves. They become the space where their own healing can begin. It is within the stillness they create for themselves that the wise begin their journey of healing. They no longer run from pain. They learn to sit with it, breathe through it, to listen to what it came to teach. And more importantly, they do not allow it to poison the person they are becoming. Life will always have people who try to pull you down. Those who can't stand your light because it exposes the shadows within them. Those who spread rumors to distract from the emptiness inside. But the wise simply see all of this and smile. They don't argue with fools, because they remember a simple truth: haters spread rumors, fools believe them, and the truly lost turn them into reality. So the wise choose to walk away, because peace is far too expensive to waste on those unwilling to understand. He remembers his father's words: "There are two kinds of people in this world, those who give, and those who only take. The takers may eat better, but the givers sleep better." He chooses peace over indulgence, integrity over gain, because there's a deep joy in knowing you did good, even when no one saw it. There's a quiet peace in giving without the need to be noticed. The wise don't keep score. They keep their soul clean. They understand that risk is not the enemy. It is the gateway to growth. When they take a chance, they don't obsess over the outcome. If they win, they lead. If they lose, they learn. Both paths move them forward. Both outcomes shape them into someone better than before. They know life is not about staying safe, but about moving forward with courage, even when the outcome is unknown. And then, no matter how well they live, how honest, kind, or noble they try to be, they still accept one uncomfortable truth: in someone else's story, they will always be the villain. And the wise accept that. They do not waste their energy trying to control someone else's narrative. They live with integrity, even when it's misunderstood. They speak the truth, even when it's twisted. They don't explain themselves to those committed to misunderstanding them. They know this. No one is perfect. No one is completely pure. And if we cut people off the moment they disappoint us, we'll eventually end up alone. So they forgive more often, judge less, love more, not because others always deserve it, but because they need to protect their own peace. Because holding on to anger is like drinking poison and hoping someone else will suffer. The wise choose to let go, to be free, because they've learned this truth about human nature: you You only see who someone really is when you are no longer useful to them. That's when the mask falls. That's when you find out whether they valued you or only what you gave them. The wise watch this in silence. They don't confront. They don't chase. They simply make space. And in that space, they make space for better people to enter their lives. Amid all the noise and chaos out there, the wise find a quiet fondness for silence. Silence is not emptiness, it is a shield. It's the place where noise, drama, and gossip can't reach them. They don't respond to every insult. They don't get pulled into every argument, because they've come to understand. Sometimes silence is stronger than 1,000 justifications. Not because they are weak, but because they are in control. They are grounded enough not to play games others invite them into. They understand everything in life has a cost, and if you are not willing to sacrifice for what you want becomes the thing you sacrifice. Dreams begin to fade, goals start to blur, the fire inside dims. So, the wise choose sacrifice consciously. They give up comfort for clarity, give up praise for authenticity, because they know they're walking toward what truly matters. They don't wait for the perfect day. They don't wait for the storm to pass before they begin living. Because they know, if you spend your whole life waiting for the storm to end, you'll never feel the sunshine. And so they learn to dance in the rain, to find joy in what remains, to laugh through the lessons, because they know life will never be fully controlled. And when they make decisions for themselves, they carry no guilt over how others react. You don't need to feel bad for choosing a path that disappoints others, because you are not responsible for their happiness. You have only one true responsibility: to protect your own peace. And the wise never take that lightly. That's why sometimes they walk alone, sometimes misunderstood, but always moving forward. They don't seek applause. They don't need validation, because what they carry in their hearts is sacred, still, hidden beneath the surface, yet burning like a quiet flame that never goes out. Their pain is no longer pain. It has become peace. Their wounds no longer bleed. They have become wisdom. A wise person never denies that pain exists. He simply chooses to master it. To rise above it. To walk with it, without letting it weigh him down. That is the silent strength no one sees, and it is one of the three things a wise person never displays. Because peace, once earned, is far too precious to explain. It is lived, it is felt, it is protected, and it becomes the mark of a person who has turned suffering into something eternal, still, resilient. And unshakably strong. Three things the wise walk away. Quietly, they know that clarity is not found in the world's loudness, but cultivated in silence. In stillness. In solitude. While the crowd rushes to speak louder, move faster, prove more, the wise take a step back. And gently ask themselves, is this helping me see clearly, or only making me feel busy? They began to see something deeper, because after many experiences, they realized chaos rarely strikes all at once. It doesn't explode like a sudden storm. But seeps in slowly, like a thin fog quietly blanketing the landscape of your life. Just one unnecessary obligation, just one unresolved argument, just one more distracting voice. And little by little, you can no longer hear your own thoughts. Your sense of direction begins to blur. What once felt meaningful now just feels like noise. That's why the wise choose to let go, not because they don't care, but because they've come to understand. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not every fire needs to be extinguished. Not every invitation into conflict is worth accepting. They choose peace, not because it's easier, but because it's clearer. They reflect on the past, not to dwell or regret, but to learn. To observe the patterns. To understand cause and effect, because if you don't understand where you came from, you're likely to repeat the same path, and if you want to redraw your future. You must begin with an honest look at your present, but they also know very clearly. Growth always comes with a price. When you start refining yourself, when you begin walking in silence, when you start saying no to the noise, something strange begins to happen. The world around you starts to shift. The invitations stop coming. People begin to misunderstand you. Loneliness knocks on your door, but this is not punishment, it's proof that you're growing. Loneliness sometimes is the price you pay for clarity, because when you walk toward light. Not everyone is ready to follow you there still. The wise embrace that journey, they understand. A quiet road will teach you things a crowded one never could. They don't see solitude as emptiness, they see depth in it, because in that silence. The truth of your thoughts becomes audible. In that distance. You finally feel the full weight of your own soul, and when emotions rise, they know how to find their position. If sadness pulls at them, they look to the past. If anxiety stirs, they know their mind has wandered into the future. But when peace arrives, they understand they are fully present. The Stoics understood this deeply. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. But if you're at peace, you're living in the present. And the wise choose the present, because the present is where true power lives. They also choose humility. The courage to admit not knowing is not weakness, it is the first step toward wisdom. A fool who knows he is a fool is wiser than the fool who believes he is wise. The wise are not interested in appearing right. What they truly care about is becoming better. You might remember, in the previous part, we talked about the conscious choice to live awake, to choose the present moment, to choose peace, to choose humility over ego. And from that choice, change begins. Quietly, without noise, without show, they choose to grow better. Silently, day by day, they observe, they listen, they ask questions, and through that, they grow, without the noise of ego clouding their path. This mindset gives them a completely different way of moving through life. They don't walk around acting like masters. They walk like humble students. Because to them, every experience, good or bad, is part of the journey. Not every moment is easy, but every moment holds value. Life, after all, is never a straight line. It's a series of twists and turns, unexpected detours, lessons that hit without warning, surprises you never saw coming. But every step forward, even the painful ones, brings you closer to the person you are becoming. That's why the wise embrace it all. Even the seemingly ordinary moments can carry the most profound lessons. They don't linger in regret over the doors that have closed. They don't stand still, hoping for what's gone to return. They understand something deeply. When one door to happiness closes, another one often opens, quietly, gently. But here's the problem. We tend to stare at the door that's shut too long, too hard, and miss the new opportunity waiting right behind us. The wise are different. They know when to shift their gaze. They accept endings so they can stay open to new beginnings. And above all, they choose self-acceptance, because they know what makes you truly happy is not becoming who others expect you to be. Not even being who you were yesterday. It's becoming the version of yourself you are building today, through discipline, reflection, and courage. That's where real happiness begins to grow. They don't wait around for time to heal everything. They don't hand over responsibility to the ticking clock. Because time doesn't change your life. It only changes the expiration dates on missed chances. If you want change, move. If you want clarity, make space for it. If you want to see the world differently, you must first learn to see yourself differently. That's why the wise keep their minds open. They know that, just like a parachute, a mind only works when it's open. A closed mind falls, an open mind catches the wind, and an open mind rises. But rising means letting go of certainty, letting go of judgment, letting go of the need to always be right. They also understand something else, deeply, the importance of emotional discipline. Because the most important decision you make each day is not what to do, but what mood to choose. Not because everything is going well, but because your mood is your responsibility. It's the atmosphere in which all your decisions are born. A bitter mind sees threats everywhere. A peaceful one sees options. That's why the wise choose to step back from chaos, not as an escape, but out of wisdom. They use silence as their compass. They don't chase peace like a destination. They treat it as a condition for clear action. Distance helps them break free from the noise. Silence allows them to hear their inner voice. Peace gives them the clarity to move with purpose. And when they find themselves on the wrong path, they don't make excuses. They don't justify continuing. They stop. They reroute. They get off at the nearest station. Because they understand one simple truth: the longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive the return ticket becomes. And of course, this isn't just about trains. It's a metaphor for careers, relationships, habits, beliefs. The wise don't stay stuck out of pride. They don't continue down a path just to save face. They change direction because they've become aware. And in that awareness, they choose a different road. They don't miss what's truly valuable. They don't lose what matters, just to chase what fades. Have you ever neglected someone who truly cared for you, only to realize you lost a diamond while picking up stones? The world is full of distractions, but once your mind becomes clear, you'll see what really matters. They also know this. Anger, especially when hidden behind a gentle heart, is one of the most dangerous things. It builds slowly, quietly, over the years, and when it finally explodes, the one who suffers most is the one who carries it. That's why the wise learn to release what poisons them. They walk away from those who belittle them, from fights with no end, from relationships that trade peace for performance. And the more they walk away from what damages the soul, the stronger and healthier they become, from the inside out. Because life will always be life. The rain will fall, whether you curse it or not. The traffic will jam, whether you worry or not. And people will live by their nature, whether you approve or not. The wise don't waste energy trying to control what is uncontrollable. They focus only on what truly belongs to them, their thoughts, their choices, their energy, and so they choose clarity over chaos, not because they were born calm, but because they've trained themselves to return to calm every time the world tries to pull them away from it. They practice letting go, they practice stepping back, and from that still space, they move forward with direction, with certainty, and with an inner quiet that no amount of noise can disturb. That is the discipline of detachment. That is the power of choosing clarity. And that is one of the sacred things a wise person always keeps hidden from the world. Because real strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's quiet patience, humble steps. The wise understand this. Kindness is not weakness. It is power under conscious control. When you choose to be gentle in a world that often glorifies aggression, You rise above the noise. You protect your peace without needing to prove anything to anyone. And that is what makes you truly powerful. If this message spoke to something inside you, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the deeper lessons we share each week. And if you believe that wisdom often hides in silence, drop a comment that says, "Stay silent if you believe wisdom often hides in restraint." Because every quiet decision you make for peace plants the seed of a stronger, more grounded version of you. Keep walking with awareness, because the next step in your journey just might surprise you. So now, the choice is yours. Will you continue to react, or will you learn to respond with quiet strength? Will you let the noise define you, or will you become the silence that commands respect? If this message resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it, live it, be the example. And if you're ready for more powerful truths like this, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment below, and let the world hear your silent power. Until next time, stay grounded, stay wise, and stay silent when it matters most.